What about the Indiana trip?
Man, it was different. First off, it was 40-mile-an-hour winds and about 20 degrees, which that ain't Mississippi weather. I learned a lot, and I got a lot of respect for that style of hunting because it's not like here where you have trees and you got cover and you got, ways to get in and out without being, invasive on the bedding area or anything like that. But like a lot of those places are maybe like 10 or 12 acre little plots of trees out in the middle of bean fields. Well, there's no way to get out there unless you just walk across a wide open bean field. They're going to see you. And if you walk the ditch line, they're bedding in the ditch line. So it was definitely a different style hunting.
Hey, welcome back to the Buck Junkie Podcast. We are back in the office studio today.
The original studio.
Yeah.
Which means we didn't get to hunt this morning.
That's right. The bad news is, the good news is, we've been doing some hunting.
Of all
How many
shapes.
weeks have I've missed 2 weeks of podcasts. Did y'all do one? Did y'all do one last week?
No.
Okay, so we everybody missed out.
I missed the week before. Did y'all do one week of Thanksgiving?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were down on the farm that day. Me and Jamie hunted that morning.
Makes me look like
shooty thing.
A bad host if I don't even listen to it.
Hey, it don't matter. I got meat in the cooler, on the ground, all kinds of stuff. Mikey's on the board. Who else is on the board? Did you shoot one?
I ain't shot one yet.
You didn't? Yeah. What about the Indiana trip?
Man, it was different.
Tell us all about that.
First off, it was 40-mile-an-hour winds and about 20 degrees, which that ain't Mississippi weather. But I learned a lot, and I got a lot of respect for that style of hunting because it's not like here where you have trees and you got cover and you got, ways to get in and out without being, invasive on the the bedding area or anything like that. But like a lot of those places are maybe like 10 or 12 acre little plots of trees out in the middle of bean fields. Well, there's no way to get out there unless you just walk across a wide open bean field. They're going to see you. And if you walk the ditch line, they're bedding in the ditch line. So it was definitely a different style hunting, but we had a good hunt. We seen several does. We seen a huge deer, but it was a green John Deere. We got out there one evening, man, it was perfect. We finally had good wind. Everything was good. And about 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, farmer decided he needed to cut him some firewood. So he was set up about 100 yards in front of us running a chainsaw. So we watched him cut firewood all afternoon. But other than that, it was good.
No bucks, though?
No bucks. Nothing too crazy. A couple of does. We had some on camera up there, but we didn't work out. I mean, it was Thanksgiving week too, so we were pretty busy with other things too, but we hunted 4 or 5 times. Is there rut that time of year, or has it already happened? I think it's already happened. I think they were pretty much locked up and, stayed down. I mean, very nocturnal. Every picture we had was at night, so it was different hunting. I'll definitely go back, but it was a good time.
Did anybody kill a buck while you were up there?
No.
You didn't even get to put eyes on one.
No. Doug shot at one. Sorry, Doug, I got to bring this up. I know it hurt, but he had been hunting this deer for a while, and it was an absolute stud. And he shot it. It was about 150 yards, and it was just one of them things. We don't know what went wrong. We know he didn't hit it because it was on camera 30 minutes later. So he's still out there. I'm pretty sure he's probably still hunting him, but hadn't heard if he shot him yet.
So did you find a tree to climb, or what y'all?
That's another thing. They have very little hardwoods. I don't know what them trees are. I don't know if it's a bunch of ash trees but it's not a big hardwood. So trees are a little different too. We hunted ground blind most of the time. There was a grain buggy that was pretty cool. I'd like to build one of them, but a lot of them are up there.
Park it out.
Park it out in the middle of the field. And it was super nice. Had windows, had buddy heater in it. It was super comfortable.
See, that's what you do to get in them pockets. You got to get on that John Deere, ride it out there. They're used to seeing that thing. It ain't gonna spook them.
That's what you do. You just
farmer to drop you off.
Somebody drop
you just put your buddy in the trailer, drop him off, and
just park it.
And
leave the tractor.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
So if you're technically not in the tractor and you're in the grain buggy, is it illegal? If the tractor's pulling you around
in motion,
I don't know.
You're not in a running vehicle.
I don't think.
It's not a motorized vehicle.
Yeah.
Why are you being pulled?
Yeah, you just look like a farmer collecting grain, and you're just plucking them off out of grain buggy.
I don't know about that. It'd be a little more challenging.
Yeah.
How bumpy that'd be.
It'd be hard for them to write me a ticket on that. I think you can get out of that one.
Yeah.
You wasn't in a motorized vehicle.
No.
it's legal till you get caught, I guess.
But no, we had a good time. Y'all been having some pretty good hunts around here, looks like.
Yeah. I shot a buck before I went on my Texas trip. Actually, I shot a doe. What day was that? That was like opening Sunday.
Yeah, the opening weekend, I think.
I think we probably talked about that last podcast we did. But then the next time I shot was a 9 point. He's a good buck. He's still hanging in the old walk-in. I got a doe and a buck in there. I got to go.
Did we
get cut up? They've been hanging. Probably was this the third week?
Yeah,
so they're about right. By the end of this weekend, it'll be time to cut them up and get them froze.
Is the walk-in doing right now?
As far as I know, it is. Mikey, y'all put 2 deer in there because you and Will both double teamed in one day.
Yeah, it's working right now. It's deer are dry, and I mean it seems it seems like it's working fine. It's got a little smell to it though. We got to get some deodorizer or baking soda to put in there.
Well, I just threw the old head and cape in there. Me and Jamie, we had that thing hanging up in about 15 minutes, didn't we? So we went that morning. What day? And I don't remember exactly what day it was.
It was
Saturday. It was Friday or Saturday of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Something like that. No, not Thanksgiving. It was the week after.
Week after.
Yeah. Jamie came down and hunted, and you went to one stand. I'd told him, because like
Michael set me up.
Opening weekend, Jamie hunted a stand, and you saw 2 good bucks.
Yep.
But you couldn't get a shot on them. And so I'd hunted all that whole Thanksgiving week, and I'd seen some little bucks, but I never saw one that I would willing to shoot. You know, I didn't think it was ready. So that day, I had already planned that night before. I was going to that stand where Jamie saw that buck. Well, Jamie called and said, "Hey, I'm going to come hunting this morning." I said, "Well, come on. I'm going to this one stand. You can go anywhere else." And I went to Jamie's spot where he spotted them 2 deer.
He wined and dined me. I got there. He had side by side out. Had the heater going in it. Had my cedar heater on, or whatever you want to call it. My butt was warm. I was warm. And then Malcolm was like, "Yeah, I'm hunting stand. You've been hunting."
What did you tell me? It's going to be hard to shoot one there.
But it kind of backfired a little bit because Malcolm gets in it. It's probably high 20s, low 30s that morning. Malcolm sent me a message. No gas bottle in stand. Yeah, I'm like, well, don't feel bad. I got a heater, but it won't run. So we're both cold.
We had just talked about that the week before. You know, we was like, well, you told us like that we didn't have another gas bottle. Yeah. So me and Will went and got gas bottles. And we were talking about you carrying the gas bottle to the stand when you hunted it next time. And he went and didn't carry
I didn't think about it. You didn't think about it.
All I was thinking about was horns. But I saw that deer. It was pretty early. It was about 7:15, 7:20, something like that morning. He messed up. Boy, he come out there and checked, and there was a scrape, and he was trying to watch that field, and I let him eat. He just happened to be in the right spot at the wrong time, for him. But then we kept on hunting until, I don't know, you saw a bunch of deer that morning.
Yeah, I saw several.
Little buck?
Yeah, a couple of bucks, and it was a couple of does that come out. They stayed in the corn a lot. That corn, I think they just, I don't know, what's left corn out there, they pretty much about to wiped it out. But
now we just got cover.
Yeah.
They are stripping them stalks clean. That field, man, they worked that field over.
And I can tell you, a turkey will go down them rows, and they don't miss a kernel. If it's a cob on the side of it, they gonna pluck at it.
Did you see turkey that morning?
I did. I've seen turkeys every time I've been.
So after I killed that one, I took off and went to Texas. And Mikey, you and Will hunting.
Yeah, me and Will, we had we go down to the farm every Tuesday and Friday anyways, just to do different stuff. And anyways, we were down there Friday, and we had to clean up the tractors and did something else. I don't quite remember what it was we done. Cut down a tree or something, and right there by the driveway. And we got through with that stuff, so we went and grabbed a bite to eat. And anyways, well, shoot, do you want to go ahead and hunt, seeing how we're down here? You know, we're done working, so let's go get in a stand. Well, back up. Earlier that day, we had to go bush hog down some grass from one of the fields because that grass had gotten up and some of the deer kind of skirting through the grass. You can't get a good look at them. So we went down there and I was going to run the bush hog. So anyways, I was coming in that morning. I don't know, it was about 11:30, 12 o'clock, you know, kind of let everything settle down, and was going to go over and do that bush hog in the middle of the day where I didn't try not to disturb anything. Well, I come around the corner in the ditch and a doe run out of the ditch. Well, when it did, a pretty good buck run out of the ditch. Decent spread, you know, tall tines. I was like, well, darn, they're running does today. So me and Will went over there and done that, came back, went back to the camp, did some more stuff, and then we came back out about 2 215, somewhere in there, 230, right in that range. So we come back in there, and Will went to one stand. He went to stand that you killed the 9-point out of, and I went to the big field. And
same two stands that Jamie and I was hunting.
Yeah. So we get out there, and I'm walking to the stand, and there's 2 does in front of the stand. I can't even get to the stand. I got to stand behind the grass, and I'm waiting, because there's a little patch there that's right when you get to the stand where we rode the 4-wheeler through there and mashed the grass down that you can't hide. There's nowhere to hide. You just got to kind of get behind the ladder of the stand and try to get in it. So I was pretty much on my knees, like crawling to the stand, trying to get in the stand, not spook those does. And anyways, I got up in the stand, didn't spook the deer. Got up in there and I text Will, like, hey, they're, the does are out. They're moving around early today, so keep your eyes peeled. And no more, I don't know, it probably wasn't 20 minutes later. I set the phone down and was sitting there, and those 2 does are still feeding, and I seen something moving back in the woods. And this buck bust out of the corner of the corn there, right on the edge of I seen him in the woods, but he come out, man. He run out. He was broadside when he come out. He run out, checked those 2 does, and he picked you seen him on TV where they picked their head up and they checked the air. I've seen him do it a couple times.
Curled their lip.
Curled his lip and waved his head back and forth. Man, I seen that spread, and I knew, like, instantly. I was like, yeah, I'm shooting that deer.
Yeah.
That's the widest deer I've ever shot at. Or that's the widest deer I ever killed.
Yeah.
But anyways, I popped him, and he took off running, fell in the corn.
Didn't have to trail him too far?
No, that was like at 3:20 early.
Oh, man, you still had plenty of time to hunt.
Yeah. So I was like, well, shoot, I'm just going to sit here. And I seen him go down in the corn, and I text Will, like, man, I just shot a pretty good buck. And anyways, we sitting there. Well, I don't know, about 45 minutes later, Will texts me back like, hey, Dad, a good one, couldn't get a shot at him. Got by me. He was in some thick stuff. Couldn't really get a shot at him. Pretty big deer. He was headed back towards you. And I was sitting there. I was thinking to myself, like, please don't walk out of here.
He was going to test
Please turn around and go back by Will.
He's going to test you.
Please turn around and go back by Will. So anyways, a few minutes later go by, I see another buck down at the far end. He walks across the far end of the field, turns around, comes back. And anyway, so it's kind of like that the whole evening. I've seen some bucks they were moving around early, cruising early. And right at the, I don't know, last 45 minutes of daylight, I look up, and over to the left where I'd bush hogged at, a buck stepped out of the corn right there. And he cut the corner of the field kind of quick, and I knew when he was walking away from me, I said, that was the buck I seen this morning. So I got the binoculars on him and kind of looked at him, and I text Will, and I said, look, dude, there's a buck kind of coming in your direction. Don't know if he'll come by you, but he's going to come from behind you. So be looking, around behind you, and if you see him, go ahead and shoot him. And anyways, it wasn't, I don't know, it was 20 minutes later, Will fired a shot, and he just texted me back, said, got him.
He walked the wrong way?
Yeah, he walked the wrong way. The bad thing was I get over to Will, and I get to him to help him look for him, and I can see when I get to the stand, he'd already gotten down, so he was about 50 yards in front of me, so he went up in the woods, and I was trying to get to him to help him track the deer. Well, I walk in there, and he's standing there, he's staring at the deer, and he's just looking down, and I was like, did you find him? He said, yeah, he's laying right here. So I walk up in the woods. I said, well, that's a darn good deer, son. And he was I said, you not happy with it? He said, I ain't the one I wanted. It's hard.
He thought it was that big, Daddy.
Well, yeah.
Well, to give Will credit on that stand, dude, you hunt it.
That stand ain't forgiven.
No, you ain't got time to be TikToking and Facebooking. You better be looking.
Don't call it heartbreak for nothing.
Yeah,
you better be looking.
You better be on point, because they're going to get across there, and you're going to get a look at them. And by the time you get your gun out the window, he's gone.
Because probably the widest section, maybe 30 yards, 40 yards.
Maybe.
And you better.
You need them to stop.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they, like, the one I shot, he stopped. And I'm sure the one Will shot probably hung up. Like, they come out, they'll bust out of the woods there, and right when they get to before they cross the trail, they'll stop and look both ways. I guess trying to see if anything's down there, but they never look towards the stand, though.
No, that's a good deer Will killed. It's
heck yeah.
It ain't. I mean, heck, I'd be proud of it for sure.
Man,
it's a big 8, or do you have a little split on him?
It was an 8. Yeah, it was 8.
Yeah.
Mine wound up being a 7. He had a busted brow tine.
He was just missing one.
Yeah.
So he would have been an 8.
Yeah.
Was it broke off, or was it gone? Like,
no, I think it broke off.
It was.
Yeah, but it had been broke off for a while, because it wasn't like clean.
Done nubbed over.
It done kind of nubbed over and had trash all in it. But man, I was tickled to death. I think when he fired that shot and he told me got him, man, I was You probably could have heard me hollering something.
Anytime you and your son can kill bucks at the same day, that's pretty damn cool right there.
So I guess,
you'll remember, Will remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'm the father when me and you go, because every time me and you hunt together, you always kill.
Hey, Jamie is my good luck charm. I can go, like, if me and Mark go, we're probably going to kill a doe. Me and Mikey go, we're going to shoot a doe. I go with Jamie, I'm getting a buck.
Yeah, I don't see squat, you kill.
It's like, I don't know how many, I bet I've killed 4 down there with you.
I know you have 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to see, like, Mikey and Will, like, y'all put a lot of work in down there this year. Like, y'all been down there shooting more than anybody. So to have all that pay off and be able to do it together, that's something you write in a book and you save it,
Heck yeah. That's what reap the rewards of all that. You see what the food plots do, and you see what the year-round stuff does, and we don't have enough acres to hold whole deer, but we've got food for them to eat. So when they come there and the does are there and them jokers are chasing them through there, it's exciting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we're holding them, but I bet they're there more than they're not.
Yeah. It helps. It helps with the food source. When you got decent bedding and you got a food source, the only other thing they need is water and to be left alone. If you can do that, you can kill a deer.
It's a lot more. Just those 2 deer, that's the most, like, big deer that I've seen in one day ever, and they were all right there on that property.
Within a couple of 100 yards of each other.
Yeah. And there ain't no telling what came because we got down before it even got dark. Well, when he fired a shot and he said he got him, I got down, so there ain't no telling what showed up at dark. They
haven't been pressured too much. We hadn't been hunting that area hard since rifle season opened. When we hunted it there at Thanksgiving a little bit, me and Jamie went a couple times, and then here for the past 2 weeks, y'all are the only person that's been on it that one hunt.
Yeah.
So how are they reacting to the standing corn this year? What is the verdict on that y'all seen?
From what I've seen, it calms them down big time. I don't know how was the bucks acting.
Is it easier or harder to hunt than it was last year when we done the micro plots out there?
So it's not harder it is harder to hunt just because you
don't have as much open.
Yeah, your visibility is restricted down to those 3 lanes, or if you can you kind of got to glass all of those little corn patches because they can be standing in there. They can come out of a ditch, and that's what I kind of cut with some of that stuff where you could see them as they cross over out of the ditch and come up in the field. Because that was kind of what we were missing. But once they get in that corn, you can still see them, but you better be looking out there and
seeing what else is moving with them.
See what else is out there because they can get in that corn, and if you're not paying attention, you're sitting there messing around on your phone, just peeping out the window thinking you're going to see them standing in that corn. You're not. You better get your glasses and start looking because they move in it, and they'll stay out there for hours. Every time I've hunted that stand, there's been a deer there when I got there. And then deer stayed there the whole time.
See, that's the big difference to me. They're so calm, they just want to hang out and eat.
Well, they got covered just like they're in the woods, but they got food.
And when they break and run, like if they do get spooked by something, if they win something they don't like, they'll flag and take off, but they're not going to run, but maybe 75, 80 yards. And then they're going to stop, and then they calm right back down and go right back to eating. So I think that's a winner. Having standing corn to deer hunt in, man, with lanes that are green, because there's so many options for them.
Yeah. You can see them pretty good if they stick their head up. Like if they pick their head up looking for something.
Oh, yeah, you can see them.
You can see them. You can see their ears and their head and their face.
Is it still head high or has frost knocked it down a little bit?
It's almost head high.
Yeah.
But it's real thin. It's real brittle. You can see through it. You just got to be looking for them.
And as the season goes on now, if we wanted to start taking a little more down and give it a little more visibility, you could. But it makes them feel like Mikey said. You can go you can slip in the stand because we got a lot of the tall, kind of screen growing to where you can walk down. Now, when you get to the stand, you've got 15, 20 yards. It's open. You got to be real careful there, but you can spot and you can get to it pretty good without blowing the field out. If you just move slow, take your time. They're not going to mess. I guess they're just used to that stand being there now.
Yeah.
But this is the third or fourth year that stand's been in that same spot.
Yeah, probably so.
So it's pretty. They're used to that being there.
I walked up on a doe the last time I don't know, we all may have been down there that day. I don't remember. But anyways, I walked up on a doe out there. She was bedded down on the edge of the corn, close to the stand, in between the corn and the grass. And I walked all the way up, right up on her. And she stood up, looked at me, and bounced twice and hit that corn and turned around and stood there and watched me get in the stand.
It didn't, and stayed, didn't?
She didn't leave.
Means we ain't pressured them too much.
So this is kind
like
of getting off the subject or on a rant, but would you say maintaining that corn plot and then doing the strips is easier than what we've done in the past as far as how much work goes into it?
About the same. Maybe a little more because you got to spray it more. But like when we did our summer plots, once you get them in, do you even spray the vetch and the buckwheat?
Mm-hmm.
How many times? One or two?
Just however much is needed.
Because the corn gets sprayed twice, right?
Yeah, I sprayed it twice.
Because we so left it, you don't do anything to it until you get ready to fall plot.
Yeah, because you got to spray the corn. Well, you don't have to, but I did just to keep the middles clean.
Yeah.
Because once it gets up, you spray it once it gets up like a foot tall. I went in and sprayed it because the grass started getting in the middles. And once you spray that, which you can use some kind of pre-emergence to keep from having to spray it that many times, but you're going to buy chemicals. You're going to buy chemicals regardless.
Yep.
And you just kind of looked at which one's most cost efficient for you. But we sprayed it twice, and then once it gets up about just where it's barely dragging on the bottom of the tractor, usually the grass gets in there, but then it closes up and kind of kills out, shades out a lot of stuff, and
where it saves you too is in your fall plots because instead of taking out a whole field, we're only doing lanes.
That's why I was wondering, like, because we just done the lanes, you're not planting 10 acres.
Yeah, seed bill's not as expensive.
Yeah, I mean it's easy. It's less tractor time, I think. On the
plus, you just went in. You didn't even break the ground when you went back into the corn. You just run the seeder right over the top of it. Didn't lay it down. The tractor pushes it. You seed on top as you go.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hope you get rain. That's the only formula for that. There's no spraying that fall either. You didn't come back and spray anything there, so you don't really have chemical uses then.
No, and I mean you could see that we got a little bit of grass in there. We had a long, hot fall. I mean, it didn't get cold till a few weeks ago, really.
Yeah, really.
We still had little Johnson grass and a little bit of barn grass and stuff came up out there where we planted, but it's all dead now.
I might just get down there and see it. I ain't even been down there this hunting season. That's what's crazy.
Have you not been since we did that corn video?
I hadn't hunted. I mean, I've done the corn video, but I have not hunted at camp because we was in Indiana the first week, come back, got everything caught back up, and turned and left again.
I'll tell you what screwed us up was that Thanksgiving was that last weekend. Normally we get in.
It feels like we're halfway done.
Yeah. We are.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just another week. Be halfway.
Well, you went to Texas. You want to touch on that?
Yeah. So I went to Texas hunting axis deer, and that was a heck of a trip because I hunted for, I don't know, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sits before I ever saw the animal that I wanted to shoot. And the guys were shooting stuff left and right.
Wasn't no pressure on you, was it?
But I was the only one hunting an axis on this place. And the only reason why I wanted to hunt it is because last time I went, I killed a pretty good whitetail for me. He was like a 152. And then I shot a fallow deer. And so they had access on this property too. And it was a fence property. But they do have some axis that are outside high fences in that part of Texas. It's just, I guess they got loose or somehow, I don't know the, exact reason why they are outside the fence, but they told us there were some. But I was hunting, you're hunting primarily feeders because there's trees, but it's just scrub trees and everything's like caliche rock. It's like the toughest terrain. I mean, there's cactus. Everything's got a thorn on it when you get off a road, and it's pretty tough.
No agricultural.
No agriculture. Yeah, they're not doing food plots or anything like that. This isn't the only thing I did see was they grazed some cattle on some of the flat land, but where we were was, man, I mean, when I say they call it hills, to me it's mountains. I mean, they're huge. They're huge. When we were trying to spot these, they weren't sure what they was. They thought it was a cross of some kind of a big a sheep and something else, like a aoudad sheep and something else that had been spotted on one of the hills. And so they said, let's drive out there and see what it is because we know those aren't supposed to be in here. But they say you can't keep all that, and a lot of those bighorn sheep, you can't keep them in a fence. Them jerkers can climb. They're going to find a place to go where they want to go. But we went out there and was glassing, and they was going to let a couple of guys take a shot. It was like almost it was like 970 yards where these things were.
Yeah.
And but just so happened they had just seen them, and when they come back and got the guns and spotting scopes and all that to go back, we went back and they couldn't find them. But they saw them in that area 2 or 3 days, and they were going to try to shoot one that far. But that's how, and it was like straight up. I mean, it was like something you see out west. Where I was hunting we were pretty much hunting a box blind, and there was a protein feeder and corn feeder, and they'd throw out alfalfa on the ground, and the animals would come to it. And it wouldn't like, I don't know, it's not like you'd think, because it's like you don't know what's coming, and then they're not all like trophy animals. I saw a ton of stuff. I just didn't see anything that I wanted to shoot, because if I'm going there, I want to shoot something decent. And there was an old axis they had a picture of, and his rack wasn't like the most giant. He was on his way down. And I was like, man, I want to shoot that old joker, because they said they'd been hunting him for like 3 years and nobody killed him. And I was like, if I see him, that's the only one I want to kill. And I wanted some axis meat. And it was finally that last sit on that last morning. We got in the stand and it was still getting dark, and we could tell something had walked out. We couldn't really tell what it was. So the guy that was with me was like, let me try to get my spotting scope. And man, our binoculars, it done got cold that morning. Binoculars were all fogged over. We should have left them outside in our packs.
Yeah.
We had them in the house. And so we couldn't see good. And so I got the rifle up and was throwing up and looking, and I said, I'm pretty sure that's the axis that I'm looking for. And he got the spotting scope out, and he was like, yeah, it is. That's it right now. And it was like, it didn't get daylight till late there. And this was like 7:10. And normally it's pure
6:30, it's ready to hunt, you know.
Well, it was, I think official sunrise where we were wasn't like till 7:20. So I was within the 30-minute window, but it was so foggy that morning you couldn't see really good. And it cleared up enough to where I had it in the scope. We had to wait, and like he's telling me, there's something just walked out in front of it or something behind it, and you didn't want to shoot, mess up and kill something else. But I shot him, and man, that joker fell right there, didn't take a step, and that was that story.
That was the end of it.
That was it. We went and rigged him up, took him back to the skinning shed, got him caped out, got all that meat, and I got that meat back home, and I'm ready to eat some axis now.
So we know what we're eating this weekend at camp.
Yeah, heck yeah. It's going to be good.
So what was the other that Jeff killed? A black buck?
A black buck? Yeah, it's kind of I guess it's a species of antelope.
But they're not.
They're from India, but they say they're not that good to eat, because they didn't bring any of that meat home. We brought the head home. But and I think they killed 4 other whitetail bucks. The biggest one was like 148 and 5/8 or something like that. It wasn't just a monster. But it was some fun hunting.
It's been a pretty fast paced, eventful first part of the season this year.
Heck yeah! Well, after that, I flew back and then went to North Dakota.
Yeah,
you went with me up there filming, and we'll get into that.
That's a long story.
That's a long story, but yeah, we went bison hunting, and man, that was an adventure.
I'll tell you.
So I've shot 4. So this year so far. I've got
just this year.
I've got a doe. Well, just since this hunting season, a doe, a buck, a axis, a bison, a coyote, and a bobcat. I'm having a pretty good year for me.
All walks of life.
All walks.
I tell you, I was excited to go to North Dakota because it's seeing stuff you never seen, but I really didn't know what to expect. And really, after the first day, still didn't really know what to expect, But once we got on yours, that was pretty freaking cool.
It was fun, yeah. They tried to kill me walking. Man, I was not ready for that.
I was trying to get Mark to send me like play-by-play of what y'all was doing.
Yeah. I tell you what, the coolest thing I saw was pheasants everywhere. Man, I want to go back and go. Have y'all been pheasant hunting?
I never have.
Dude,
that's a big old pretty bird.
Man, when they take off, them joggers go up, and then they go. It's like it looks like a Harrier airplane. They come straight up, and then they take off like a jet.
And I just was amazed how you just ride down the road and they're just walking down the side of the road.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Roosters. The guy that was with us driving, every time we saw one, he'd go, rooster, rooster. He was getting fired up for it.
That was pretty neat.
Everywhere.
Do they do pheasant hunts there?
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
Pheasant waterfowl package.
Yeah.
It is on my bucket list.
What's the name of that place? Rolling Plains?
Rolling Plains Adventures.
I think it was like $2,000 for
2,200 or something like it.
2 days of hunting, morning pheasant hunt and an evening duck hunt for 2 days, I think.
And lodging. Like that's all included.
Yeah.
That covers meals, drinks, everything.
I definitely want to go back for that, just to go pheasant and duck hunt. But man, they say the ducks up there is crazy. But you do it in like September, early October.
And it's not super cold.
Like ponds?
They got a lot of natural wetland.
Most of it was dry ground. He said they use their wetland for roost spots for ducks to sit on, and then they come to the fields, and so you're field hunting.
Oh, that would be cool. No waders?
No waders.
Most of the time you don't. He said you might want to bring some hip boots sometimes.
He said it might be 60 degrees.
Yeah.
And
I guess they're in layout blinds. I didn't know.
Layout blinds. They had he said waterfowl hunt in the morning and pheasant hunt in the evening.
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Waterfowl in the morning?
Well, see, when we cooked at one of the contests over at West, is they had pheasant, and and everybody told me they taste like crap.
I've never ate.
Man, that's a lie.
Did you eat some?
Yeah.
Was it
Me and
pretty
Will
good?
cooked that thing, and we were going to try to hide it. I think we wound up. I don't know if we won that one or not.
Did y'all turn it in?
Yeah, we turned it in, so I stuffed a mushroom with it. So I mixed it with boudin and put it in a mushroom. But what was left over, me and Will, I said, let's try it and see what it tastes like, And anyways, we should have tried it before we made our dish or made our mind up what we was going to make.
I mean, I've had it before.
I thought it was awesome.
It's pretty dang good.
I thought it was really good.
Well, how did y'all cook it? Like, did you piece it out and
we
cook
just
breast
seasoned
and quarters, or
we
a whole bird?
No, we got.
They do it in half.
I think it was a half a bird because they had to leave a wing on it because they brought it back from somewhere. But it was just half the bird. So we just seasoned it like you would chicken or anything. Just put it on a grill and just grilled it. But it was really good.
Man, the craziest thing was we're bebopping down the road and a whole herd of moose just strike out across the road. And I was like, I didn't even know there were moose up here.
I didn't know they were in North Dakota like that. That was pretty cool.
That's a pretty good sized bull.
That's the thing I ever saw. I was like, what is this coming out? It looked like mules. And it was cow moose. And then that last one, old Bullwinkle, was with
paddles.
The very last one. He come out there and he just trotted across the road. Dude, with the lead truck, the guy that was with the slams on the brakes and jumps out with his camera.
Because he's like, you don't see that often.
He said maybe 2 or 3 times a year he'll see moose. And he's never killed, lived there all his life, never killed one. But I think, didn't he say you got to get in a draw and it's like a legacy draw?
Yeah. Like you said, it's very, very hard to get a tag.
If you get drawn, you get the tag for your life, to kill one animal. That's how rare I guess it is.
You only get one bull.
One bull your whole lifetime.
Your whole life, yeah.
And
I guess it don't matter when you kill it. It might take you years, but.
Yeah. Is it, are they wild up there? Is that something they
no.
introduced?
I guess they're just come down from Canada.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Guessing
I did not expect to see that. When that was happening, I was like, where the heck are we even at?
No, they crossed the highway. Well, it wasn't a highway. It was just an old dirt road we were on. But they crossed that, went across this field, and there was a railroad track, and they stopped, and that moose just stood there, and they took pictures of it. He looked back at us, and then he bebopped on over the railroad track, just like it wasn't nothing.
Seen that. Seen mule deer.
Seen some mule deer. What else do we
Was that a whitetail that we seen?
The first one was that broke out.
They
didn't have many whitetail. That area got hit bad with
blue tongue.
Yeah, blue tongue. And they said
what he said 4 years ago,
and they still ain't recovered. He said he told us they were at like 58% of what they should be herd estimates.
And now they're at what did he say?
They dropped down low.
They dropped down like 3%.
Yeah, but they've come back, and he said hopefully 2 more years they'll be able to start hunting them again. But it devastated them, and he said it's just because of drought and it's so hot and those little midge flies or whatever bite them. I think he said like the bison we were hunting, it doesn't affect them. Like they can bite them, but it doesn't affect them. So they're strong enough.
They said it don't hurt mule deer.
The mule deer, they're strong enough.
That's really odd.
Just the whitetail. But we had that here.
Yeah.
It's usually like in August and September when it gets so hot and the water gets contaminated and they get bit by those flies that grow in that water. Causes a fever, I guess, and they can't take it. It kills them. It's not, they don't like give it from animal to animal. They've got to be bitten by
bitten by it.
They got to be bit.
So since I wasn't here, what'd y'all cook opening weekend?
Oh man.
What? Give me a recap of opening weekend.
I don't remember. It's been time.
It's Como. Y'all went on Friday night.
Oh yeah, we went to Como Steakhouse and ate dinner, and then we come back and I cooked some duck. That was fire. Did you eat that? Was you there when I cooked that duck?
Yeah.
I don't remember what else we cooked, Mark. Honestly, I know we cooked breakfast. We cooked gravy one morning. You come and hunted some with us, didn't you? What did we cook?
Yeah, I had the Hope Outdoors hunt, but our hunter got sick, so I hunted that morning and ate breakfast, and I had to head back out. But
that evening, man, I'm confused with what we did cook.
I don't know what day of week it is now.
I don't know.
It does not feel like the day Wednesday is today.
I haven't been to camp in 2 weeks. I've been traveling and hunting, so I'll be there this weekend. I hope.
I'm gonna try to slip down there.
Next weekend, I don't know. Mikey's having a Christmas party on Deadgun Deer season with Saturday night. It's like, man, now my wife wants to go to the party, so that means I can't go hunting the evening or the next morning.
Look, hey, all the men are excused. They're allowed to leave.
So, see, it didn't say in the invitation women only Christmas party. It said bring a dip, an appetizer, your favorite dish. BYOB, bring quarters for poker and dollars for three. You got to explain 3 dice to me. What is that?
Left, right, center.
I've never played it.
You never played it.
Well, you rolled. You get 3 dice.
You get 3 dice. They got an L, an R, and a dot on them.
Yeah.
And
that's the game y'all played Thanksgiving.
That's all that's on the dice. Is
that's all that's on the dice. You get $3 in front of you. You pick up however many dollars you have in front of you. You can't roll more than 3 dice, but you take the 3 dice, you throw them down. If it comes up with a C on it, it goes to the center. Left is person to the left.
You move the money to that guy.
Yeah. And if you got a dot, you keep however many dots you have. So you just keep throwing. So it's like be 20 people on the table playing.
Yeah. I mean, I got it figured out first time.
Get through.
So it ain't nothing to figure out. You just put your money out there and throw them, and they'll tell you what to do.
Yeah. No, I lost $15 like
real quick.
5 seconds.
What's the house cut on this, Mikey?
Well,
you get $1 roll goes to the house. I know why you're doing this.
I had to front Abby and Jeanette, and they lost all my money, and I didn't have nothing.
I like that. That's gonna be fun.
I come home empty-handed.
But it's time to get at them. They're still out there chasing.
Yeah, I seen. Did y'all see the video that got put on our?
That deer there was freaking hauling the mail.
It was a doe standing. I guess she was standing off to the left or right of the camera, and she took off. Man, I'm talking about like you shot her out of a gun, and there was a buck.
Well, if that was that guy's game camera, that's a dang good game camera.
Because it was footage.
Because as fast as that deer was running, it never skipped a beat.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good stuff on the website.
Yeah, what's been
Facebook
so
page.
what all's been shot?
Y'all see the guy skinning the deer over the drain?
I thought that was great. He's gonna get his HOH revoked. They're gonna be fining him, kick him out of the neighborhood.
I can relate with him.
Well, hey, we did that. Look, so me and Waylon. This was back years ago. We were hunting down there outside of Oxford, and we had these old tents we were using for barbecues. Y'all remember those pole tents where they had like the joints and you could fit them up in them? Well, we made us an A-frame out of some of those because we had the corner joints and the poles, and then we put a little eye bolt in the center and rigged us up a come along, and it worked great for does. We had them at the end of my mom and dad's driveway in the neighborhood, just the old beer keg, garbage can. That's what we gut them in. Then we'd haul it like to the car wash. Don't do that. But we
put it in the dumpster at the car wash. Oh man.
It's terrible. I know. I've done some bad stuff. It didn't say not to, but I'm sure.
Yeah, they didn't have a sign saying no deer guts.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we were cleaning them in there, and then finally one day, I think Waylon had killed a buck or something, and we got the bright idea we was going to try to hang him up on that thing. Oh, he folded it.
Did he?
I'm talking about folded. That did not work, but we was doing it in the neighborhood, the end of the driveway. People would drive by, and we're out there, deer hung up.
Sure, I don't know what would be worse, that or if you lived up there in North Dakota and seen a 4,000-pound bison on a flatbed riding through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Either one would be bad.
Yeah, that'd be shock.
Jamie, how'd your Hope Outdoors and Arkabutla hunting stuff go?
Yeah,
man, I have been slammed. Hope Outdoors, that was the first hunt. They had a real good weekend. Several killed. And this past weekend, we had the Arkabutla Physically Challenged hunt. I think we ended up with, I might be awful, but I think it's around 20 deer total killed. That was bucks and does.
How many hunters did you say?
I believe it's around 30 this first hunt. I don't know exactly how many we have this coming up weekend, which should be pretty close to the same amount of hunters.
So they do back-to-back weekends?
Yeah. Have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then follow right back up second weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday again.
I done Jamie wrong. I left him stranded on cooking jambalaya for the Hope Outdoors. Left him stranded on cooking a hog for Arkabutla. He's solo this past 2
Solo?
weekends.
If it wasn't for Brad Ward and Michael Scott, I'd have been huffing it come Saturday with the hog.
So you cooked the whole hog. What else did they cook for the people?
Man, I don't even know what all we ate. Glenn from Ribeye Wranglers, they was down there Friday night, done ribeyes for everybody. Some crawfish. I don't really know what you call them. They get potatoes, boil them in a crawfish pot, drain the water, season them, butter, and then got a sheetrock mud mixer on a drill, and they mix it up. Man, that's some dang good potatoes.
Kind of like a mashed potato?
Just those lumpy skin on potatoes, man. They were so good.
That went with steaks?
Oh, yeah. You had that. We had several people to come down there and volunteer and fix food for everybody. Of course, you got a great breakfast every morning. If you're diabetic, Miss Lisa would kill you with desserts, but yeah, you eat a tub of donuts for bread pudding, and she fixes it up.
Was there any good hunt stories, or did you hear anything?
We had probably the coolest one. We actually had 3 guys this year. All 3 of them were blind, and one of them killed a doe this year. Man, you get adrenaline rush out of a blind man shooting a deer.
Now, has he been blind his whole life, or
no? If I remember right, first time I met him was last year. I believe he was in a side-by-side accident.
I think that's who I talked to last year, because somebody asked me like, he asked me if he was permanently blind or just something accident happened or whatever. And I said, well, most of the guys, the accident happened. And I was like, I talked to him, and I was like, what goes through your mind when this is going on? And he's like, I can see it. He's like, I can imagine it. I see it just like I remember them. He says, you tell me what we're doing. And he says, I can see it.
So is there a guide sitting there with him?
Yeah. His dad was with him. I believe it was Saturday. When he killed. And his dad was hunting with him, and his dad kind of, gets him on it. But the young man's name's, I know him by Buck. I can't remember his real name. Everybody called him Buck. But he's hunting close enough. We was outside, and you heard him when he shot. You heard the bullet pop, and he killed a doe. That was pretty cool to listen and see all that.
That's awesome. I bet he was fired up.
Oh man, he had a great time. It was good.
Well, was there any big deer? I
can't remember who it was killed. I was in and out a lot, but this guy killed a 10-point. It was a pretty good deer, and it was 2 other deer that wasn't nothing wrong with neither one of them. They had a real good hunt. Did
y'all get pictures of the big one?
I did not. I believe Brad did, and I know someone from the hunt itself did. Rob or something.
Share that.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get linked up this weekend to get all the pictures from last weekend too.
That would be a good deal.
And then check out Hope Outdoors. They just got I believe the guy's from Senatobia. He got to go to what they call somewhere in Alabama, and it's a monster he killed.
It's a good deer.
It's a monster.
Absolute monster.
So are you going this weekend? Are y'all cooking again and all that?
I think Ribeye Wranglers are going to cook again Friday and Saturday. I'm going to follow up, make sure. But
this week,
I'm probably going to go down there. I got to cook for a Christmas party Friday night, but I'm going to try to slip down there, try to do some hunting this weekend. I gotta get on the board somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm on the board.
Passing them up at the house. I know you got.
No, I wasn't passing him up. I just didn't get there in time.
Yeah.
I'm on the board with the 3-legged bobcat. That's about as far as I've got.
Jamie killed a bobcat. That wasn't
legged. Was it have 3 legs?
Yeah, I guess he's been caught in a trap. You can see just a nub on his left side. It done healed up and everything. Just 3 legs.
That's probably one of them ones that got away from.
I was going to say, didn't we have a trap over there? We didn't find no leg in it though.
No, but it was tripped and had hair in it, so he pulled out of it or something.
My wife want me to get it mounted, but I don't really know how you make a 3-legged bobcat look good. I don't know.
You show the 3rd leg. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Like that's the character.
Be that nub. Yeah.
This week we was up there at North Dakota, and they had a pretty slick lodge, had a lot of cool mounts, and I've never had the least bit of interest to go hunt a mountain lion. But that is one of the coolest mounts I've ever seen.
Man, yeah, they had one. It's a full, the big 10-point with this mountain lion just right on him, like he's fixing to jump on him, and then a pheasant coming back up, flushing in the background. It was awesome.
That freaking mountain line's huge.
That's a $12,000 mount right there for all of it.
Oh, there ain't no telling, yeah. And then they had a bison that was, God, that thing was so big. You don't realize how big that animal is.
Either that cabin from the pictures that Mark sent had a real small fireplace, or that bison had just actually.
It wasn't vaulted ceilings, but it wasn't no little fireplace.
Yeah, it was.
They shot that bison 24 times.
I think so.
It
wasn't even when they were hunting. It was when they got
out and just went crazy.
What got out and went crazy was hitting cars and doing all kinds of stuff.
Darn.
I mean, these things are wild animals. Like there's no domesticating a bison. It's, I mean, and
they flip a switch.
They get the urge to go. There ain't no stop. It's like
what was he talking this morning? Like top speeds, like 45. Plus?
Yeah.
It's fast. And then you don't think that 4,000-pound animal can't walk up to a 7-foot fence and flat foot clear it? Yeah.
We watched.
Malcolm's did.
We had one just step over a 5-strand barbed wire fence.
Like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah. Then I had to roll under it. It's like, we're going through there. I was like, well, fence, we can't go that way. No, we're going under it.
He looked at Malcolm, grabbed that bottom strand, just picked it up, didn't say a word. Like,
I knew what to do.
Come on.
Hit the ground and
you
roll.
Finally got to use stop, drop, roll from school.
Stop, drop, roll. I was like, I'm glad Mike didn't see me do that. He's like, dang, you're a poacher.
Professional.
Just roll under a fence that fast. Then we got back to the truck, and there was another daggum fence when we got to the truck. We just pushed that one down and stepped over it. We didn't have to roll under it.
Yeah,
it was only like a 3-strand.
We done good.
You can't push that 5-strand down low.
No, them fences up there was tight. Yeah. Did you see I've seen everybody do it, but they had a T-post about every 40 or 50 yards was their tensioner. Yeah. They rewind it,
Yeah.
That was a big ranch for sure. What else we got going on at camp or coming up, or we got any things in the community?
Yeah, we're doing a giveaway in the community. We got send all you. We've got a few people that's done posted them or whatever, but this anything you harvest this year, send us a picture of it. We're gonna give away a game camera and some other stuff. Y'all can check it out on our Facebook page. There's a picture of the camera on there.
Which camera is it? I think is it the Browning?
No,
is the other one?
This is the one that Malcolm got.
I got you.
Yeah, this one they sent me.
I think it's a stealth cam.
Yeah, it's a pretty good camera.
Oh, I could have won.
Card reader with it, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a card. Stealth cam's got a card reader with it. We'll probably send you some other.
I don't think it's wireless, but it's still a good camera.
Yeah, it's got a card in it. It's just a
regular.
Regular trail cam.
Oh, I could have won a pick this morning. I could have shot I don't know if it's an alpaca, emu, or whatever. I just do front yard when I was coming to work this morning.
A what?
A llama.
Alpaca, llama, emu. I don't know what the heck this thing was.
Bird.
Emu's a bird. You got two different species going on here. What'd you have?
It wasn't that. It might have been an alpaca then.
Don't shoot that. My wife she'd cry. She wants to get one of them as a pet so bad.
Well, this guy's got them.
Have you seen them hop? They kind of like prone like an antelope does. There's some in the field on the way to camp, and they'll get to hopping, carrying on. Well, we don't have anything. It's just hunting. There's no work to be done right now. Unless I know of. It's just get out there and
it's work to be done. Y'all got to hang in a deep freeze at work at the shop.
Yeah, I got to do that. It's processing time. I got to get my deer cut up in the freezer, and we got to get those racks rigged up.
We got to get that buffaloes. That was a lot.
But that's it. That's all I plan on doing is doing some hunting. It's getting close to Christmas. I like hunting during Christmas. I mean, it's some of the best time.
Yeah.
I mean, you sit there and think about you got all this time. Well,
clock ticking, man.
This has been the fastest year, period.
Yep.
I've probably been in deer stand maybe 5 or 6 times at the most.
I think not many of us have been in like the actual deer stand down at camp very much. Not yet.
I still got probably 2, if not 3 more Hope Outdoors hunt, and then me and Mark's going to try to go to Kentucky to
I think we're going to do the youth duck hunt up there. I think in February, if we can squeeze that weekend in.
Was it is Idle Aside Ministries?
Idle Aside Ministries.
Pretty cool thing they got going on.
Well, y'all got to go up and cook for them?
Yeah.
We're going to do something. I think it's a pretty small event. I don't think it's real big, so I don't know that we'll do a hog, but we're going to do something cool for them for sure.
Mississippi has 2 youth waterfowl hunts coming up. There's the Corps of Engineers that Arkabutla's doing.
Yeah, they got that, and they got another squirrel. Is a squirrel hunt? They got a squirrel hunt coming up too. Maybe they've already done it. Maybe
I don't know, but I know
might be the duck hunt I seen posted.
It's like there's a weekend in January, and then the youth waterfowl weekend.
No, it's a youth coon hunt. Excuse me, it's a coon hunt coming up, and that's what it was.
At Arkabutla?
Yeah.
Man, Mikey, they're gonna be your old stomping grounds there.
Mm-hmm.
I do got one more thing that I figured you might appreciate this too. If you have a Shields in driving distance,
Shields,
you better go.
That's the baddest store for hunting I've
That's the baddest store, period.
They got everything. You take your wife's there, just send them to the right when you walk in the door, and they've got anything they want, and you just make a left turn, and it's just
heaven.
Man, it puts like
Bass Pro's is freaking Fred's dollar store compared to
we first started, that's one of our wholesalers, and we first started dealing with them, and I thought they was kind of like a souped up
Tractor Supply.
But they're way ahead of that league.
Way ahead. They got everything.
How many guns you think were back there? That's not guns behind the counter, guns you could walk up and put your hands on.
Oh, well over 1,000.
Easily.
Every
caliber, every model, every brand.
Every manufacturer.
So if you're looking for, Christian Arms, they
got a heck of a sale on them right now.
On some Christian Arms.
What was that one? Original price was like $3,400 and they had it marked down to 18 or something. It was something crazy.
If I'd have been in the market, that'd have been a place to buy one. I wish we had one of those stores down here in the South.
So I guess
closest one's Tulsa to us.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Oklahoma would be the closest shield.
There's another one in Illinois.
They had the largest processing equipment section I've ever seen in a store. And I mean, I'm not talking about your normal grinders and tenderizers. I'm talking about, like, I bought a pack of bologna seasoning. Like, we're going to make us a chub of bologna.
I bet the lady that ran that department talked me into buying the sausage.
Yeah.
They call it fry sausage. She's like, oh, this is the best there is. So I bought it some so we could compare it, see if it's anything close to what we use for our sausage.
It's going to have to be good.
It's going to have to be real good.
They had anything you think of. I mean, from barbecue stuff,
grills,
outdoor pizza oven, Blackstone smokers,
a full display of fishing huts. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, they had ice fishing huts. I mean, just
that's what I want to go to.
Anything. I mean, they had anything.
How much were they?
As much as you want to spend.
Yeah, you could get the little cheap 2-man one that looked like a fold-out seat with a hood on it, or you could get the igloo one.
See, I think you could get one of them igloo ones and just spray paint it camouflage. That'd be the ultimate hunting blind. Did it have windows?
I don't think so.
Damn, never mind.
I don't think
I couldn't remember. They were insulated though.
They're not made to shoot out of, they're made to keep you warm on the inside. So, but they had it all, man. It was amazing. If you ever get a chance to go into Shields, and they ain't paying us, but man, it was worth the trip to go see.
So how does that work if you order a gun from them?
Ship it to FFA.
It's got to go to
FFL dealers.
Yeah, FFL.
I've never ordered. I mean, dude, they had every scope you could think of. Thermal scopes. They had all
thermal binoculars, shotguns, new and used. They had a whole used section of shotguns.
That was what got me. Like they have, I guess it's consignment, or how are they buying these like trade-ins?
I think they're like trade-ins,
but they have all just a whole like 2 big sections of used shotguns on one side, used rifles on the other.
I do have a question for anybody. Well, I didn't know they made them. What is the point of a single shot break action 12 gauge Browning shotgun? Like new, like modern, set up for trap, but it's only a single shot. And it was what? Shoot, $4,000?
Yeah.
It was high.
There's somebody that shoots better than we do.
Yeah, I've never seen a modern, like a new, like I didn't know they still made single shot shotguns. Like,
well, I knew that they do for deer hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like shoot.
Well, that's like an H&R. I mean, this was a fancy trap rifle or trap gun.
No, actually, there was a guy this weekend had a Henry, and that was a very, very good looking gun.
It looked like an over and under without the under. It's basically
had no under.
Yeah, it was broke open the same way.
I don't know what they shoot with those. I've seen those guns before.
I mean, it had the Rage rail, and I mean, it was a slick gun.
It was definitely a sporting shotgun.
But I'd never seen one.
It wasn't for, I don't think it was a hunting shotgun. It looked like something you'd take to shoot clay.
What was that one you was looking at?
Oh, that Satori? Yeah, I'm going to get me one of those. Dude, it feels, I picked up, and that's one thing I liked about that. Most places, you have to ask somebody to hand you this one, this one. This one, you can just walk, pick them up, throw them up, feel them. And that gun right there just felt like you needed to take it home with you.
No,
I swear it did. I swear it
was
did.
begging you to take it home.
Heck yeah.
What was that brand that I went
in Memphis? I'd have bought it.
Yeah, probably the only thing that saved you from spending money was the airplane flight back.
It was exactly.
What was that bolt action rifle I looked at that was like $6,000? I can't remember. It was a new brand.
It was a new brand that lady told us that's something new they started carrying.
But that's the only place I've ever been that you could walk up to a $6,000 rifle and put your hands on it and not talk to a soul.
No, nobody's trying to sales pitch you or anything. I mean, there's plenty of help. Everybody there was super friendly.
Yeah, they had a ton of staff.
Yeah.
Like every aisle, there was somebody there, like a used car salesman.
But they weren't pressured.
No. They just wanted to make sure you were took care of.
Yeah.
Well, I did see firsthand, not only did TSS have a bad turkey load, they got bad buckshot. If you want a shotgun that'll reach out and get one, shoot the TSS in it.
So what do you think those rounds cost?
I want to say we talked about it this weekend down there. I want to say it probably averaged about $15 a shot.
God, that's up there with the 50 cal, isn't it? And that what one of the Barrett rounds
Yeah.
cost? 15?
But, man, I don't know.
I mean, for deer, I guess
It ain't like you're shooting 25 times or, so.
the turkey loads are that high.
Yeah, turkey loads are. You're
Fancy,
$70 a box.
Yeah. So that's
A
what
five.
it would be. And they were, what did you say, $75 a box?
Yeah, probably so.
$75 a box. You better not be running dogs
I
with
ain't,
it.
I ain't doing that. I ain't shooting doe with it.
Well, at 60 yards, it'll mow one down with
Yeah.
buckshot. It's pretty
Blow it.
impressive.
Clean through it.
They blew a fist-size hole. I wasn't there to see when it dressed out went all the way through, but I know the entrance hole was massive.
I'm trying to look and see if I can find the price.
Is that supposed to be a primitive weapon hunt?
Yeah, it's got to be a single shot, no high-powered rifle, nothing like a 35 Wayland or 350 Legend or muzzleloader or shotgun, something that's a single shot.
Well, if you buy just the shot, like if you were going to load them, this website here sells just the shot, and 1 pound is $60 for 1 pound of shot.
Is that TSS like tungsten?
Yeah, but it's just the beads. Like it's not powder. It's not a shell. But I don't see. Well, I guess here's some.
Are they reloading those?
$70 for 5 of them.
Yeah, no,
that's
it's
right.
a box.
That's about right.
I bet that stomps.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's going to do it for
That's
today,
it.
man. Y'all, let's go get in the woods somewhere.
Are you serious? Let's go.
Hey, we got too much going on to even think about getting in the woods this rest this
no, we
week.
don't, man. You got to hunt.
Don't tempt me because I will go get my rifle.
See, what y'all don't understand is this deer season.
I mean,
I got to get in the woods.
And you're our boss.
That's right.
So if you say go get in the woods, I will remote start this forward.
All right. Well, take us on out of here today.
Man, we appreciate y'all listening. Y'all make sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We got some new recipes coming out. Got a couple of hunting videos that we're working on. I think it's going to be pretty good, but y'all keep your eye open. Shoot us a message if you got any questions, and we appreciate y'all listening.
We gone.